You get all the tips and everything that you need, living up to his generous nature. And let's call upon from across the causeway, I like to say that, CJ Ng. He's going to teach us winning over your international audience. He's the author of Winning the B2B Sales in China and co-author of Sales Map Assessment. In his free time, he helps fellow speakers go into their customers' minds and get more gigs. And last night he tried to bribe the exco, those who are in the convention group. No bribery was actually attempted. It was all in good banter. Over to you, CJ. Singapore is not the only one graft-free. Malaysia also, to some extent.
I try. Oh, where's the clicker? Hang on, let me. I was told the clicker sometimes. Okay, this is good. Okay, great. And right, how many of you here agree that Malaysian food is better than Singapore food? So you can imagine that for the last 3 years I've been trying to get Malaysian food. And I can only look at pictures and videos and drool. So thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me over to this presentation. And yeah, that's why. I mean, I'm here for the food. This is what I will do in order to get the food. So thank you. So something about me. Yeah, I'm bilingual. I do a lot of things, but most one thing is the Malaysian food. I have been living in China since 2004 to 2020. I've been there for about 16 years. And what I've been doing is also being a speaker that I've gone to China, Singapore, Malaysia, the US. And one of the key things that I found, the topic is about how you win over international audience. And actually that is a misnomer. It's about how to win over any audience. And one of the key things is this. Now, how many of you have got this situation whereby you have a customer. The customer says, hey, can you do a speech for me, or can you do a training for me? And in this training, let's say it's leadership training, I want you to help my people to build confidence, to be able to communicate well, to have EQ, to soothe down people, to soothe over conflicts, to negotiate well, to be able to have good motivational skills and get your team to be super engaged and get things done. And then you say, wait, how long is the speech? And then the guy says, oh yeah, you got a lot of time, it's only 30 minutes. So it's like you want to squeeze a lot of things into very little time, right? So one of the key things that we need to understand is how we actually manage the expectations of the audience, of the sponsor, or whoever's paying you to the speech or training or coaching or consulting. And talking about consulting, by the way, what is consult? Are there any consultants over here? Right. So if you're a consultant, congratulations.
Consult.
Yeah. Consult means to con and then insult. Yeah. So anyway, so if you're preparing for the speech, the training, and the workshop interventions, you have what is called the audience. And what the audience want, we are talking about training ROIs and what are some of the expectations that you can see out of the training. So the audience would like to have some kind of outcomes. And since they are hiring you, it's obvious that they alone are not able to achieve that outcome. So they need to hire you. So you can be the speaker, it can be the trainer, it can be the coach, it can be the consultant. So they hire you, and you are the one that's responsible to achieve that outcome. Right? Simple. Now the question is, just as I mentioned earlier on, is when the audience say, hey, I need a training on leadership. I need a workshop on sales. I need you to coach my people to do something. Now the first thing to ask them back is, sure, thank you. Now, why is this important to you? Can you tell me more? What are some of the things that you would like to see changing in your people, especially in terms of their behaviors, right? And if they gave you only a very short amount of time, you may want to prioritize and ask them, no, it seems like there are a lot of things that you'd like me to cover. Which of these will be the most important to you? Which are the things that, given the short amount of time, what will be the key things that you want to touch on that is not for negotiation? Right? So these are some things that you want to clarify, the why and the what. Now, between why and what, which one do you think is more important? Why? Can someone share with me why? Why is the why so important? It clarifies the agenda, thank you. What else? It is a pain point, it's a desire. It also shows them what is their values. What are they, what is really so important to them? What is central to what they are doing? It can be something as simple as, maybe I just don't like how they are doing things and I want to change them a little bit. It can also be, hey, we are going for some strategic changes. And it's something that's so important for us, it ensures our survival over the next 5 to 10 years. It can be a host of reasons, and those are the underlying reasons why they engage you in the first place. So keep in mind why is a lot more important than what. Now, how many of you have read or heard about the book called Start With Why? Right, so you have the why. Yeah, Simon Sinek. You have why, you have the what, and then the how. Actually, before you go for the how, it's the who. Because we are speakers, right? So the key thing is, why are they hiring you in the first place? So yesterday, I think it was Sharon who mentioned about what is the essence of your value. What do you bring to the table? The who in that speaker, the who in the trainer or coach can be who you are, what are the skills, what are your expertise, what do you want to share. More important than that is who you really are. What do you stand for? What are your value system? What is your character? Now, what is it about you that aligns with what they want to achieve to get to their outcomes, to get to where they want to be? So that's something about you. And there's a lot of things about, sometimes we thought it's a topic that we know really well, we really want to get the job, and we know we definitely will nail it, and sometimes we miss it. And sometimes some of those reasons, it could be that maybe you are not the right person, not because you don't have that expertise, but something about you that may not be a good fit. Just like what Siva was saying about cultural fit and all that. So something about you, what is it about you that brings to the table? What is it that's integral about you that can help them achieve those outcomes you want? And of course, we're talking about Simon Sinek, Start With Why. There is the how, right? So you are looking at what are some of the ways to deliver your speech, your training, your workshop. It can be what we do, like Jacob was doing. We did a lot of activities. We can use videos, we can have discussions, we can have breakout rooms, and so on. But the how is also dependent on what kinds of outcomes your audience want to achieve. So basically, there are different types of outcomes, but I can categorize into three main types. There could be operational outcomes. Operational outcomes can be, if you're in communication training, so an operational outcome is how to develop better listening skills, how to read non-verbal clues and signals. So it can be an operational outcome, a how-to kind of thing. One level higher than the operational outcome could be strategic outcomes or business outcomes. And the way when you deliver for operational outcomes or strategic outcomes can be totally different. Because when operational outcomes, it will be a lot of skills training. There'll be a lot of skills role play. We need to drill something into someone. That's operational outcome. And if you're running training especially, we usually like to have a lot of practice. And the metaphor that we use is that, sometimes learning a skill, and especially an operational skill, is like learning how to swim. If you don't jump into the water, no matter how good the lesson is, you will never learn how to swim. Right? So we have a lot of practice sessions for operational outcomes. For strategic outcomes, it tends to be more thinking. We may do some analysis. We may use tools like business model canvas. We may use some simulations. We want to get people to start thinking, analyzing about what they will be or they want to be 3, 5, 10 years from now. Right? So that's more strategic. It tends to be more business. It tends to be more looking at the macro kind of thing. And on top of that, before I go to that, usually people will say that, hey, does it mean that if you target operational outcomes, the fees will be lower because it's operationally? If you target strategic outcomes because it sounds so atas, so you can charge a bit more. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It really depends on what the customer wants, right? We talked about being the audience focus yesterday. So this is something about what the audience want, what the sponsors want, what the customers want. What exactly do they want to be addressed? Now, you may think that you are good in strategic outcomes, but if operational outcomes is what the customer wants, and you're giving them the wrong content, it's not going to work for you. Anyway, it's just something to gain clarification. We want to ask a few more questions and find out exactly what they want to achieve. On top of these two is what we call self-actualization outcome, for a lack of a better word. These are things about what that person really, really want to do at the end of the day. You can call it that, if after 100 years you are no longer physically there, what do you want people to remember you for? What is it that is inside of you that is important to you, is part of your value system, is part of what we call your identity, right? What you want to be or what you want to become. So some of the workshops, some of the speeches are about these. And these are some of the different things that you may want to get people to do more reflection. You may want to get people to think deeper about themselves. So those are some of the outcomes and how you adjust to those to achieve those outcomes. Right? And that is in a way how you actually relate and win over different audiences. Ultimately, yes, we know that we need to be audience oriented. We know that you don't want to share like 300,000 ways to do X number of things in a half an hour session. But on the other hand, this is the way of how you actually find out what does your audience want, right? What is important to them, and what are the key priorities now, right? And that is the thing that you go for them. Now, since I've only had a short amount of time, the thing is, it's been 3 years since I last came to Malaysia, so I need to give something free. Anyone want some free stuff?
Malaysian love free stuff.
Singaporean lucky love free stuff. Okay, so before we go to the free stuff, can you turn to one person beside you and share what is one key takeaway today that we have? Give me 1 minute just to turn around to someone. What is something you learned out of these few minutes? Oh, the bell ring. Bell ring, then no giveaway, I give on. 2 more minutes. You got 2 more minutes. While you are sharing, this is giveaway number 1. So, Shama was saying that I created this sales assessment. Don't worry, Raymond, it's different from yours. This is skills-based, this is B2B. You don't need to take the photo because if you look at the booklet behind, there's an ad, it's written there. So, Yeah, I thought you're taking pictures of me, but actually you're taking that. Pick some. Right, so, get this, it's for maps, it's written in the ad somewhere behind the last few pages booklet. Have a try, it takes you half an hour, please don't do it today, do it when you're free. The other thing, also, I actually wanted to use my LinkedIn QR code, but for some reason that was not working. I've been reflecting to them for more than a week, it's still not working. So this is my WhatsApp QR code anyway. But talking about free book, I can read my mind. There is going to be a free book, and it's actually based on a real book that is on sale in Amazon. Now the thing is this, one more lucky bigger bonus. I got 2 books on the table over there. Thank you, Terry. I got 2 hard copies over there. The first 2 persons to send that email, that I get the email based on timestamp, will get the hard copy. Okay, so the rest I'll send you the PDF version. Right, the first 2 guys will get the hard copy. I got 2 more left. Right, so thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's been great being KL again. I look forward to see you next time. Thank you.